Oh yeah, Agatha is the old name for layered earth. There was a movie called Layer Cake. Obviously the earth is. Do you know when you go on a boat, cruise boat, you go on a boat, and people get seasick because the sea chops the waves are choppy, and the table on your boat has to be screwed down onto the boat. On one of the boats that I own, for example, the table, here it is, look, listen, it's screwed down to the ship. But when the ship is rocky, it gets motion sickness. Well, if you notice, when you're on land, there's never any motion sickness because the earth is stationary. Not only that, but there are caves everywhere on the earth. Why is there caves in all places on the earth? Because the earth is a cave system. And not only that, there are layers. We have the glass dome over our planet Earth, over our Earth, and Hillary Clinton called that glass dome I think she called it the goldfish thing. Anyway, there's a glass dome over the thing, over the Earth, and on the Earth are people 6 foot tall, 20 foot tall, different heights, still alive now. That's a picture of an aeroplane there, Mandela Effect aeroplane, which I did. That aeroplane is stationary in midair, absolutely stationary, not moving at all. And I wanted to film it the other day. There was a man flying through the sky, but I didn't get to my phone quick enough. Could have filmed it. That's a nice house that I might own one day. I can own a house like that one day. Right, so what are we talking about? Oh yeah, the Earth is layers. Of course, we've got our sun and moon. And I've looked at the moon, and the moon seems to change its shape. Sometimes it's half a moon, then it turns to a full moon, then it disappears into a crescent moon. And I don't know exactly what's going on, but since I'm always right at everything, I would suspect that the moon is literally just changing shape, like a clock, to tell you what time of the month it is. But the moon gives you energy. They say the best time to pray for good things that you want is on the full moon. The moon gives you energy. Have you noticed? Everyone we love is safe, can stay safe every day. They're full of peace. But if you noticed, when you run at night and there's a full moon, you don't get tired and you can run faster. Your body's lighter. That you do get energy from the moon. The moon gives off a cold light, a cool light. The sun gives off a warm light. But have you seen these videos on YouTube where the airplanes fly through the sun and the airplanes don't set on fire, do they? But thinking about that, if you go on a mountain top is closer to the sun. Therefore, if you're closer to the sun, it should be hotter. But it's not, because it snows on mountain tops. So the closer you get to the sun, the cooler it gets. Because if you get on a mountain top, like Mount Everest, it's freezing cold. But you're closer to the sun. Yeah, if you get further away from the sun, you get into a valley that's a good mile further away from the sun, it's really hot. So the further away you get from the sun, the hotter it gets. These are two people. If you look at these two faces now, these are two people that were giants. And they were alive recently. In the past, maybe 100 years they lived, or 1,000 years. No more than a few thousand years ago these people lived. And some were even living 100 years ago. Some still alive now. And you can see these are like related. You can look at the noses, look at the nostrils and the lips. These two people, they died together. And then they've turned to stone. And they were giants. And they've turned to stone. But if you look at them, these pictures here, these were two real people. They do look ancient style, but I noticed there's an old saying in Britain. There was a giant who lived in Britain. It's a folklore of truth. There was a giant who lived in the south of England, and he was friends with a normal 6 foot person. And there's an old story. It goes that one day he kindly was helping his young friend, and he rested his hand upon the head of his young friend. And because his hand weighed more than that of a truck or a car, because obviously his hand was bigger than the car, when he put his hand on the guy's head, when the 40-foot tall guy put his hand on the 6-foot tall guy's head, his friend, he accidentally crushed the guy to death. And then he cried and cried and cried, and he cried, and he said, "Oh God, why did you make these small people so feeble, weak? Because look at the size of these people. If you look at a giant's hand, it's the size of a car. If you look at the fingers on some of these giants, just the finger bone is like 6 foot long." But where do these giants come from? Well, we all come from paradise, but we were sent to this earth. A little well-known thing about me, anyone who knows me. What they don't know about me is since I've been a little child, I've always had these abilities. When I was a very young child, I saw a ghost at the end of my bed. A good stir at it. I thought it was my uncle at first, then I thought it was Philip, because they're like 6'6" ghost at the end of my bed. And I thought, I thought I had a good stir at it. It was wearing these 1960s circular glasses, and the glass on its glasses was like a centimetre thick, circular glasses, and it was staring at the wall. It slowly turned and looked at me. And I was a young boy, I was only about 8. I hid under the covers. I had a really good stare at it. And I thought, oh, that's not my uncle, and that's not my brother. What is that? And as I got a good look at its skin, I saw that its skin was made from a green, solid, stationary gas, in the exact form of a human being. And that's when I realised this is a ghost, or some kind of spirit. It looked at me very slowly, and what I did, I was only about 8 years old, I hid under the covers. So that's my first experience with the spiritual things. And of course, a few years later, when I was a bit older, I was in my living room, and there was only me in the living room. Everyone else was outside, being safe and happy. And something whispered into my left ear, "The devil does not exist." So imagine that, someone whispering into you, someone invisible whispering into your left ear. You're the only person in the room. They're saying, "The devil does not exist." What are you going to think? That was the next spiritual thing. But now, I see these jinns and animals and ghost animals and human ghosts and cat ghosts. I see them all the time. Especially when you wake up. As soon as you wake up, your soul's coming back into your body. That's when you've got best chance of seeing them. But as I was saying, why is the giants? So basically, there's still giants alive on the earth. But of course, the Freemasons and that, they've got this idea to lie to the people. They said, first of all, we're going to separate the giants from the normal 6 and 7 foot tall people. So that's what they've done. They've deliberately took by helicopter all the giant people that are still alive. Not all of them. Because, there's still some reports. There was a report the other month, wasn't it, a few months ago, about this guy was in the woods of America. He was hunting for deer or something. And he saw this guy, 20 foot tall guy, giant, run up a mountainside in America, in the countryside of America. And that was only a few months ago that happened. So there's, in remote places of the earth, America and other such places, there are still people 20 foot tall, living in the wilderness, in the forests. Some live in the... Obviously, they said there's a lot of people, giants, still live in the Grand Canyon. But what the governments did, the first thing it says is, look, we need to hide the artifacts, put them in the Smithsonian Museum. If you go into any museum now, you ask the people in London Museum, any museum, you say, are these real dinosaur bones? They'll say no. You say, can you show me a real dinosaur bone? Say, no, we can't, they're all in storage. I say, what are these dinosaur bones on display in the Museum of London? What are they made from then? Oh, they're fake. I said, why? I said to the guy who owns the museum and the people who look after it, I said, why are all the dinosaurs bones in all the museums? Liverpool and London Museum, why are they all fake dinosaur bones? He said, oh, well, they have to be fake because, they're fragile and they might get broken. So he said, we keep all the real dinosaur bones in storage. But the truth is, I reckon dinosaurs never existed. So the world is not round. Dinosaurs didn't exist. We didn't come from monkeys. If a monkey puts its hand in a box, say you make a small hole, and a monkey can just squeeze its hand through that hole and grab an orange or a banana. And as it grabs the orange or banana, it makes a fist. That monkey will never, ever, ever get out of that box, because the monkey is not clever enough to let go of the apple or banana and then squeeze its hand out of that hole. Because basically we came from giants. Our ancestors were all giants. 50 foot tall, then 40, then 20, then 30, then 20. Over time, people got shorter, didn't they? Because on the Earth it's called a gauss, which is electromagnetic spectrum of magnetism. You put a magnet in your plant pot. Everyone should have organic things. You put a magnet in your apple tree, or in your potatoes, or in your potato patch, or your thing. The fruit on that tree will grow quickly, and the fruit will grow big, and the plant will grow quickly. Because you put magnets into the earth, stuff grows quickly. That's why the earth used to be very magnetized. So you might have a question, where do I get all my knowledge from? Well, the truth is, I told you I was very spiritual as a child, and still am now growing up. And all my information I get, it just pops into my head. That's how I knew the world was flat. That's how I knew stuff. It just comes into my mind. No human being teaches me this knowledge. It comes to me. I told you I got spiritual powers, spiritual gifts. I'm the most powerful person on the earth. Knowledge just comes to me. Sometimes a name will pop into my head. First and last name. Then I end up meeting that person in real life, having a conversation with them. See, I got the spiritual powers. I'm very blessed. I always have been. I didn't have to learn this knowledge. Any knowledge I have, I never learnt it. It just comes to me. And they know the biggest weapon on the earth is not a nuclear bomb, plus nuclear bombs don't exist. That's just a lie as well. Nuclear bombs don't exist. They don't have nothing that powerful. World War II was staged. Maybe we'll have a look into that. But you cut off the cobra's head. You don't go to war. You just kill Hitler. There you go. And no war needed. No World War II needed, really. Look at the facts. I'm the most spiritual, powerful being there has ever been since the prophets. I've been seeing spirits and ghosts floating about all my life. Even the other day, I saw a cat in my room, a ghost cat. And that just goes to prove that ghosts are not dead people. I know from first-hand experience that ghosts are not dead people. That's another lie. That's another lie. Another lie of the government is they want you to believe that ghosts are dead people. Ghosts are not dead people. Ghosts are another species of human. They're similar to humans. Like a cross between an alien and a human. They're a natural thing. They're a natural thing. But we do have a soul. Because when anyone dies, they lose 68 grams of body weight. Not liquid. That's body weight. Because your soul, the average weight of a human being's soul is 68 grams. And if you notice when you're doing the leg press or you're doing some kind of exercise, it's not so much your muscles are pressing, it's the soul is forcing pushing from outside of the body, is pushing the legs and arms. That's why if you look at the people who are very physically strong, they use their soul to push their arms and legs up for extra physical strength. Because the soul controls the arms and legs. But one thing people don't know is that your soul can control things in other countries, like I've been doing. Have you noticed how I moved the planet? I've moved the countries. I moved Australia 1,000 miles north. I did that successfully. So there's spiritual powers that you'll have. I don't know if anyone else has spiritual powers, but I've had them all my life. I've been very gifted. And it's my friend, my good friend Kevin, who has helped me home my spiritual powers for good things and for good deeds. Because I was the ultimate weapon. I was the ultimate weapon. There was no plane, no army, no war, no World War II, no B-2 bomber could outmatch me and my spiritual powers. Nothing could. I know what they do in the, certain detectives and that, they use sightseers, people who see things from distance. Well, my spiritual powers are better than ever. Okay, I've done a lot of miracles in my time. But now Kevin, not Esther Hicks, but it was Kevin. It was Kevin who made me a good person. He made me the good person. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to being a good person. And if you could make yourself into a good person, with good thoughts, good safe fate, you believe that everyone you love is safe, they can stay safe, you've got peace of mind right there. I don't want to use my powers to kill anyone, or to do anything funny. I did use my powers once, I shouldn't say. I've brought people back to life, I've done it before. I brought Kirk Douglas back to life. He came back to life for so many years and then he died again. So I only did these miracles by the permission of Allah. I didn't do the miracles by my own power. That's the thing, you see. I researched what is the Freemasons, what is secret societies. Secret societies is just basically mind power. How to use the mind to get what you want. And I'm going to have to delete this video. Because I am the ultimate weapon. I am the ultimate good thing on this earth. Because I have all the spiritual good powers. Under the pyramid is a tunnel down to the other earth with another sun. But don't go on that expedition, forget it. This is a good earth, this is one of the best earths.